We're two sisters who believe that the purpose of life is to enjoy, create, and have fun. We believe that as humans, we can have anything we want, and things are always working out for us. Experience has taught us that the path to getting everything we want begins with ease. If you believe in miracles and happily ever after, or even if you just want to, then this is the podcast for you. I'm your host, Kayla Rain.
And I'm Adria Shea.
And we are back this week talking about the law of attraction. Adria, it's only been a week, but it feels like forever.
It does. It feels like it's been ages. That's crazy.
I just even had to think, what were we recording last week? And I did remember as I was thinking about this week's episode. But like usual, I want to start out and talk about gratitude. And this is a perfect week to talk about gratitude because even though it won't be the week of Thanksgiving when our listeners are listening, or likely won't be, it is the week of Thanksgiving that we're recording. So, Adria, tell me 3 things that you're thankful for and why.
Well, I am thankful for the holiday that we just had, Thanksgiving. In particular, well, there's a few reasons. Really good food. Normally, I spend the holiday with a big group of extended family. It was just a friend and myself this year. But on Thanksgiving, I always make a point of doing something I should do every day, which is thinking about the things that I'm grateful for.
Yes.
And so I'm grateful for that opportunity in particular because I was able to really appreciate some of my blessings. So that's my first one.
Yay.
I'm grateful for my car. I'm
Yay.
out of town today, away from home, recording, and I have a reliable car that got me where I needed to go. So I'm very grateful for that. And I'll be even more grateful when it's a Maserati or something.
I don't know that you'll be more grateful, but maybe grateful in about other aspects of the car.
That's a better way to say it. And I'm grateful for warm socks because it's starting to get chilly.
Oh, I love warm socks. I love cozy socks. Well, those are good. I'm grateful for my health. I also spent Thanksgiving with just my fiance, Dan, and we were supposed to go see his family, and most of his family came down with COVID. And so we stayed away. And I'm so grateful that we were able to still have a wonderful and happy little Thanksgiving in our tiny house. It was fun.
I saw your food. Your food looked amazing.
It was so good. I'm looking forward to leftovers. So that's number 1. Number 2, I am grateful for technology, especially this year. We talked about being grateful for the internet and being able to do the podcast and all of this. We talked about that a couple weeks ago when we were talking about our gratitude, but I just love that we have the ability to have our weekly video calls with our family, and it allows us to stay in touch. And I'm just super grateful for technology right now. And my third thing, I'm grateful for a 4-day weekend. It feels so nice to have a holiday weekend and extra time off of work. So yay for holidays, nice. Right?
Yes. You know this, but I thought I had today off. And then much to my surprise, I learned Wednesday that we didn't have today off.
It's a good thing you found out.
So be very grateful. I know. Thank goodness I asked.
Right? You just no-show. All right. Well, let's jump into this week's episode. Last week, we talked about essentially getting clear with what you want. How do you know what you want? And we really dove into all the things that we really want that maybe we don't admit or haven't thought about. And we talked about a whole bunch of different aspects of our life. And we encouraged listeners to come up with their perfect life. What does that look like? So for those listeners that went through that exercise, you now have a list of all these things that would make your life perfect. And I tried to kind of write down a few different categories. And these categories are in the workbook that you can download from our website. But the categories that I think are important to focus on when you're thinking about what would make you most happy, these are the things that I came up with. feel like one category would be physical. So that would be your health, your appearance, your conditioning, strength, all of those things, right? Flexibility. Next would be your environment. And I feel like when it comes to the things that we think we want, most of it falls in this category because it's all of the tangible stuff. It's the bigger house and the nicer car and the, I don't know, helicopter that
Vacations,
we talked about.
Yeah.
Yep. Vacations. It's the things we surround ourselves with. And so I feel like most of us tend to lean towards the tangible items. And it's important to recognize that, yes, we do want those things and we can manifest those things, but that's only part of what makes us happy. And so I feel like the third is financial. I think we all have goals financially, and maybe the goal is to have a certain dollar amount in our bank or in our savings. Maybe the financial is just to not have the stress of worrying about whether or not you can pay your bills or come up with Christmas presents, or maybe for some people it's that being debt free or having great credit. I feel like those are goals or things that kind of add to whether life feels perfect.
Yeah.
Next category I would say is family. And with family, I think a significant other or romantic relationship fits in that category. But, some people want to have children. Some people don't want to have children. Some people want a healthy relationship, a different relationship. Some people have a perfect relationship and they just want to manifest things staying perfect. Next category I would say is social and relationships. So that's the other type of relationships. This is your friends. And what does your social life look like? What are the things that you do? Who do you spend your time with? Who do you surround yourself with? And then I'm going to call this category personal development, but I think spirituality fits in that because some people, it's important to have a relationship with God or the universe or whatever you believe in. But I feel like that also falls into personal development, your relationship with yourself and, what would make you happy in that aspect. And then the last one that I came up with was career. So again, it's physical, environment, financial, family, social, personal development / spiritual, and then career. So basically 7 different categories. So we went through a lot of those in our conversation last week as I asked you, what does your dream car look like? What does your dream house look like? If you had a perfect life, what are the things that you own and who are you spending your time with? And where do you vacation and all of these things? So we kind of went through that. Now I want to take it to the next level and talk about vision boards. Okay, Adria, first question for you. Do you have a vision board?
You were supposed to tell me ahead of time so I could have one for the podcast.
No, this is like about honesty, and it's also about authenticity.
I'm going to amend my answer. Okay. I have some items that if I had a vision board would go on my vision board. But I have been meaning to put them all together and I have in a vision board, and I have not done that. So I don't have an official one, but I have pictures and other things in my room, in a certain area of my room. So I have the beginnings of a vision board.
Okay. And that's fair. And I don't judge you. I don't judge you by any means.
A draft of a draft.
I don't. Let's talk about it though. Why do you think I would even recommend someone have a vision board?
Well, tell me this. Why do you call it a vision board? And why not just a list of goals or even like a dream board, something like that?
Okay.
What is a vision board to you?
Good question. So to me, let's talk about the word dream first. We'll call it, because I know a lot of people have vision boards, but they call them dream boards. And to me, a dream is just a feel-good thought. It's a pie in the sky idea that probably will never come true. It's just a dream, You think about things that happen in dreams, and they're crazy things, and you're like, oh, dreams can be bad,
Yes.
dreams can be good. I don't like the idea of a dream board, because to me it doesn't feel realistic. It feels like a fantasy. And although it's fun to live in a fantasy world sometimes, when we're talking about actually trying to create these things in our existence, trying to manifest all the things that we want in life, to me, dream does not fit that. So, and, take it for what it's worth. I'm sure there's listeners on here that would totally disagree with me and maybe even be offended that I said that I don't like that phrase. But I feel like a vision is something that is, you can see, you can feel, you can touch, it's already as if it is. When you have a vision, it's kind of like foreseeing the future, or it's kind of the opposite of a dream to me. It's something tangible. Then we can talk about a goal board. You said a list of goals or a goal board. I think goal is kind of the medium ground. It's in between a dream and a vision. A goal to me is something that you set and you work towards and you give a deadline to. That's kind of part of the definition of a goal. A lot of people that talk about goals talk about, well, you have to have a deadline, And I think that it's important, and we'll talk about this in more detail in other episodes, but I think it's important to expect something to happen, but we can't control the timeline. It's not up to us when something comes about. And so I don't feel like the word goal fits, but I also feel like a goal feels like I said, like work. It's something you work towards. And we have talked about the reason that our podcast is named Attract It with Ease is it shouldn't feel like work. It should feel easy. It should be effortless. It should be fun. And so to me, goal just doesn't feel like the right word either. So it's okay if you call it a dream board or you call it a goal board. I'm always going to call it a vision board because I'm seeing the future.
I love it.
So when you talk about things that you want, whether it's a goal or whether it's something tangible or something you want to change, or something you have never experienced and you want to manifest into your life, I feel like the best thing that you can do is to remain focused on it. You've probably heard the phrase, our thoughts become things, thoughts become things. What we focus on is what we get. What we put out there is what we attract. And so a vision board fits right in that because it puts the things that we really want right in front of our face, and we're seeing it on a regular basis, and it keeps our mind focused in on those thoughts. Have you ever, I'm sure you've experienced this, have you ever been through a stage in your life, like maybe when you were pregnant and everywhere you went, you just noticed other pregnant women? But when you're not pregnant, you maybe don't even notice if someone's pregnant or if someone's pushing a stroller or something. But when it's on your mind, you notice it everywhere. Right. When I was engaged the first time back when I was 18 and looking at wedding ring shopping, everywhere I went, I paid attention to other people's rings, and I started seeing certain styles that were similar to what I was looking for. And everywhere I went, because that was on my mind, I started recognizing how many of those there were out there. I used to have a silver Passat, and when I bought it, the car salesman told me that the color combination that I had was super rare. And so that's why I picked the one that I did, because silver would not usually be the color of car I would buy. But I felt super cool having something that was rare. No one else has this. And then I started driving around and I kept seeing all these other silver Passats that had the same color combination. And it was something where when it wasn't, I think he was trying to get rid of that one after all. But But my point is that when you focus on something, when it's top of mind, you become aware of it and you start seeing it everywhere. And maybe it is that you're attracting it but maybe it's just your attention to it brings it into your awareness. And so to me, that's the same thing that a vision board does. It puts it in your mind and you start seeing it. And when you remember, oh yeah, that's what I want, that's what I'm working towards, then as you go out into the world and about your day, you start seeing those things in other places. You hear people talking about the place that you're planning to go visit, and you hear about a really good deal on the AirPods that are on your vision board or whatever it is that's on there. You just seem to bring that awareness to your mind, and you see these things more frequently, and in turn you're attracting these things to you just by thinking about it. So I don't know if you can tell, and I realize this is a podcast, so people at home aren't going to be able to see this unless you look this episode up on your YouTube channel, but I have my vision board behind me right now.
Oh, I love it. I was hoping you would show it.
And I live in a tiny house. I have very little wall space because most of my walls are windows or hold up the one shelf I have in my whole house. And so it's kind of like, how do I have room for a vision board? But it's that important to me to have a vision board that it is one of the only things I have on the wall in the very little wall space that I have. So I want to talk about different ways to create a vision board for yourself, because old school way was you got a stack of newspapers, you laid them out on the ground, and you flipped through them and searched for pictures of all the things you thought were cool that you wanted to have. Maybe you didn't even know you wanted it till you flipped open the magazine and you're like, "Ooh, I like that. I'm going to cut that out and put it on my board." And it was with a glue stick. Yeah. And a poster board.
Yeah, I didn't know that's what we were doing back in 6th grade, but I think I've done that a few times.
You probably have. You're like, oh, I like this mansion and this yacht and this picture of Paris Hilton. I want to look like that, whatever. And then you'd cut out words that meant something, or you'd cut out letters and creepy put it together like a serial killer letter, ransom note. And you'd write, your messages on your vision board. And that's totally one way to do it. That's the old school way. If you have magazines sitting around that you want to tear up, I'm all about it. In fact, invite me over. I'll do it with you. But I feel like the ideas around how to create a vision board have changed dramatically, and you can do something that works for you. And so I love what you were just saying about how you have the start of one, because I do want to acknowledge that a vision board doesn't physically have to be a board. It can be a series of pictures, and they don't all have to be in the same place. You could put one on your refrigerator and one on your bathroom mirror and one on the dashboard in your car. You could separate them and put different things in different places. One on your desk at work, or tape one to your computer, whatever. And I think it's important to realize that there's no right or wrong way to put it together or do it, but it really is literally pictures of the things that you're trying to attract, the things that you want. I think it's important to acknowledge that sometimes the things that we want, we don't know how to put into a picture. So, for example, one of the things on my vision board is to be debt-free. That's important to me, and I am nearly debt-free. Yay, I'm so close. Nice. But it's kind of like, how do you put that on a vision board short of cutting out the letters from a magazine? And so there's a number of different ways. Number one, you could literally create a graphic with the word in something like Microsoft Word or in Canva. There's free software available where you could make the word something cute that you could print out and put on your board. But I try and find pictures that show the word in a sign or a different way, or something that represents that word to me. So I remember on a past vision board, balance was something that I needed in my life. I did not have a healthy work and home life balance. It was way swayed towards my career, and I really wanted to find a better balance. And so I wanted the word balance on my vision board. And I remember really struggling with what's the best way to put that on my board. And sometimes it literally is a word. And I think most people's vision boards have words on them. But right now, my debt free is actually, you can't see it, this image of its knuckles, and it has the words written on the knuckles across two fists. So it's like in your face, debt free.
That's
so
awesome.
You can totally put phrases, but I think it's important to come up with things that are really what you want. So, don't put the word free on there, or if it's not important to you. If you're not trying to attract more of it, why waste the space? Put something that's more valuable. So, Adria, give me some ideas of some things. I mean, we talked through some stuff last week, but give me some ideas of some things that you would put on a vision board if you were creating one right now.
Well, one thing I have pictures of in my room is Sweden, because I really, really want to go there. And I'm going to go there in the next year. So that would definitely be on there. I actually have a question for you first, and that is whether a vision board is supposed to be pictures of things and places or pictures of feelings, which I think is a little bit harder. But that's something. I have been thinking about vision boards, knowing that we were going to be doing this episode, and a lot of what I want in my life are particular feelings, and I'm not sure how to represent those with pictures. And that's part of why I haven't put mine together yet.
Okay. Well, I'm really glad that you asked that question, because it brings up something I wanted to discuss, which is oftentimes the very best pictures you can put on your vision board are pictures of yourself experiencing the same things that you want more of. So, for example, if you just want more fun or more joy, if that's something, find a picture when you're just beaming with happiness. Find one of your happiest days or moments. Who were you with? What were you doing? Put that on your vision board. If you're trying to lose 20 pounds, find a picture of yourself when you were 20 pounds lighter and put that on your vision board. Because seeing your...
What about...
Go ahead.
I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No.
What about sticking my head on somebody else's body? Can I do that on my vision board?
Why? There's no rules. Yes, you can do that. Absolutely, you can do that. Yes. Or you could just, Photoshop yourself into whatever. I used to have a picture, not on my vision board, but it would have been funny if it was, of Channing Tatum holding a stick figure in his arms, and basically like, this is me with my boyfriend. And that's what it makes me think of when you say that, because you could just put your face over some celebrity and, call it good.
I have those pictures from the Wax Museum of me and Dwayne Johnson. That may be going, I'm sorry to his wife. I know he's currently married, but that might be going on my vision board. Just occurred to me. It was a very realistic picture.
There you go. So coming back to your question about feelings, I think the best way is to find something that when you look at that picture, whether it's you or someone else that's just a representation, it shows the emotion that you're looking for. If you're looking for love, try and find a photo that you just can feel the love in the photo. If it's just some random couple that's, wrapped up in each other's arms in a blanket with their legs intertwined or something, maybe that's what you want. But I definitely think pictures are more powerful than words. And so, yes, I think most people have words on their vision board. Probably every single vision board I've ever seen has had at least one word on it. And that's great. But if you can actually find a way to give yourself an image of what that word looks like, it will help your mind create that mental image to attract that same thing to you. I just feel like words don't have the imagery that a photo does. And the whole idea is that we're trying to create a picture in our mind. We're trying to visualize having the things that we want and seeing it in our future, seeing it in our existence. And that's why if you can even find a picture of yourself where you already had it or did experience it, even if it was temporary, to be able to put it back up there and say, I want more of this. If it's something tangible, like your Maserati that you mentioned, go test drive one. Test drive one with someone, bring a camera, take a picture, standing next to your Maserati or in your Maserati, put it on your vision board. I promise you, you're going to want one even more after you test drive it. And then it's going to feel real because you'll be like, I know what it feels like to drive it. It was amazing. And I have this picture of me and my Maserati. Just so you listeners know, when Adria was out here a few weeks back and we were recording our first episode, Adria did say, hey, take a picture of me next to my Tesla as we were walking into the hotel room. So if that's what you want.
Random Tesla in the parking lot. Not mine yet.
That's the point, is you can totally like ramp things up a notch by finding something that represents the word you're trying to put on there or represents the feeling that you're trying to put on there. And I love the idea of putting feeling, because at the end of the day, it's really the feeling that we want. That's the only reason we want anything, is because of the way it makes us feel. We only want to find a relationship because of how we feel when we're in a relationship and how we feel when somebody makes us feel good, makes us feel appreciated and valued and attractive and important and loved. And those are the things that we want. The only reason that we want, the fast car is because of how we feel when we're driving it. We feel important. We feel powerful. We feel like everybody notices us. We feel famous or, sexy or whatever. It's the feelings that are the reasons that we want the things that we do. So some of the things on my vision board, and I will also admit to something embarrassing, and that's that I haven't updated mine recently and I need to. But on my vision board, I have my Jeep.
Nice.
So attracted that.
Yes.
I have a hot tub, and get this, you'll just think this is amazing. We have been wanting our own hot tub for as long as I can remember, since Dan and I have been together. And we actually do get to use the hot tub at the place that we're staying, but we want our own for our permanent house that we're planning. And Dan's boss is giving us his hot tub. He's redoing. I'm not kidding you. He's redoing his backyard, and now he better, because I said it.
That's right.
I said it on the podcast. No takebacks. But he's redoing his backyard, and he's redoing things, and he's just said, if you want it, you can have it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's on my vision board, a hot tub.
I love it. And it reminds me, Kayla, this is how your whole life is. When I watch you and your life, you attract things from places that would never even occur to me. Sometimes the things you attract into your life are not always the traditional way that I think a person has to attain something. And I just find that fascinating. I love to watch it.
Thank you for saying that. And I hope that that's something that we talk about over and over again, because goodness, I'm just going to go off on a tangent if I'm allowed to here, and I don't intend to, but
you're not allowed to.
We're staying on vision boards. We're staying on vision boards. No, all I was going to say is that there are countless ways to receive the things you're looking for. And we'll have other episodes about that. But just know that there are countless ways. Things can fall out of the sky for you. You could win a raffle. You could have a long lost relative leave you something. You could find it sitting out on the side of the street with a free sign. Who knows? I mean, there's just countless ways. So thank you for saying that. Back to vision boards.
Yes.
Let's see. Because I live in a tiny house and because we don't have room for 2 vision boards, I actually have some of the things Dan wants on the vision board. So it's like our shared board. So there's some photography gear because he's a professional photographer and he wants to upgrade always. Oh, I have a picture of a book signing because I want to finish my book and I want to have a book signing one day. So I have on my vision board a picture of someone signing a book.
I love
it. It's just a big deal to me. That will be a huge accomplishment for me when I finally have my book finished, it's in print, and I can have a signing. So those are some of the things on my vision board. I have our tiny house community on there, which I'd love to build someday. I have a photo of people, a bunch of people hanging out around a fire pit outdoors, because to me that symbolizes the friendship and social activities that I want to have in my future. And so all of these are things that you can find pictures of. And I guess that's the next question is, where do you get the pictures? If you're not going to get it from a magazine, where do you get them? And I think the easiest thing is to just Google search for images. I will have a disclaimer and say a lot of the photos online are copyrighted, and I, especially because my fiance is a professional photographer, I do not condone stealing other people's photos. But there are a lot of photos on the internet that are free. You can search for free images. Like I said, you can take your own pictures, go stand by your Maserati and take a picture of it. Go stand in front of some millionaire's home in Bel Air, if that's what you want, and take a picture of yourself there in front of their house, whatever it is that you want on your board. The more that you can picture it, the more that it will become a reality for you. So we were talking about different ways to create or make these vision boards. You can see, Adria, that mine is actually a pin board. It is not glued down. It is not, I know some people make photo collages and print it out. There's a lot of free ways that you can do that. Canva lets you do that. I think you can even do it at Walgreens. So you can insert a whole bunch of photos and print a photo collage. That's a real easy way to do it. But I purposely, for the last, I don't know, maybe 8 years, have had my vision board made in a way that I can switch out photos as I achieve those things. As those things do manifest, there are other things on the board that I'm still working towards, but I want to be able to update and change out photos when I can. So right now it's a pin board, and it's literally photos with thumbtacks, so I can remove things and replace them. I now need to replace the Jeep because I've achieved that. And soon I'll be able to take down the hot tub and I'll replace that with something else. So those things are that's important to me, to be able to switch it up and keep it fresh and updated. My last vision board before moving to the pin board was just a magnetic board. I went to Home Depot and got a really thin sheet of steel or something. I don't know if it was steel, aluminum, something. Anyway,
aluminum probably.
It must be aluminum because I don't think steel is magnetic. But then I just used magnets. And so I put all my photos up, and I actually at first tried putting the magnets on the back of the photos, but the magnets weren't strong enough and they would slide down all the time. So eventually I got really strong magnets, just round ones, and stuck them on. And that way you can easily change the photos out whenever you need to. So I do know that there are other people out there that sell products to make vision boards. I've seen accordion style. I know that some people literally go buy a poster board and fill it. Adria, what type of vision board do you think you'll create? What makes sense for you and your space?
I like your idea of being able to switch the photos out easily. I don't have very big living space, so I need something on the smaller side. So probably a cork board, something like that.
Yeah.
I like the magnet board too.
Yep. So go ahead.
How do you decide where to put it? Does it always go on the wall?
Well, it can go wherever you want. Like we said before, you can break up the photos and put them around your house or around your environment. I think the best place to put it is where you're going to see it often. And so when we lived in Sedona, Dan had his vision board right in the living room, and it drove me crazy because it was right next to the television. So I'd be watching TV and then the vision board's to the right of it. Decorating taste, that's probably not what I would recommend, but I'll tell you what, whenever he was watching TV, it was like right there in front of him. I thought that was kind of ingenious in that aspect. I usually put mine right next to my bed, because then I can see it as one of the last things I see before I turn out the light. And it's one of the first things that I see in the morning. I wake up, I roll over, and there it is. In our tiny house, it's at the foot of the bed because I have a small little wall or partial wall at the foot of the bed. So it just hangs right there. It's down by my feet. So when I'm laying in bed, I can see it back at the end of the bed. I know people that put them on the ceiling above their bed. So when they're laying in bed, they can just stare at it. But I think a bathroom, it would be a great place. You could just cover the front of your refrigerator and turn that into a vision board with magnets. Whatever makes sense for you. But you want it to be in a place where you will see it. You know, don't stick it in your walk-in closet because you probably will never notice it. Don't put it inside the broom closet because it's not going to be top of mind unless you are an obsessive compulsive cleaner.
Yeah,
so
got it.
So yeah, it doesn't have to be on the wall. I recommend that you do put it somewhere where you will see it frequently. Maybe just right across from the toilet, right?
That's what I was thinking, but I wasn't going to say it.
I'm just joking. You could make it miniature and put it as your screensaver on your phone. You could just have that would be a really tiny one. That's tiny house friendly.
Yeah, that is. Although my screensaver is actually the Swedish flag, so I do have a mini vision board.
There you go. You said you had to start, and you were right. So I don't know. I feel like we've kind of covered the topic of vision boards. The whole purpose, guys, is to come up with your list of what it is that you're trying to achieve. What do you want more of in your life? What are these things? And if you went through the exercise from last week, you already have that list. You know what your perfect house looks like, what your perfect relationship looks like, what your perfect body looks like, what your perfect job looks like, where you want to travel to. You already have these things identified. So now it's going through the fun process of finding pictures that represent that. And when you find those pictures, print them.
That does sound fun.
It is fun. It's so much fun. And I'm excited to update mine because I've come up with the list of new pictures for mine. I think I have 8 new things I'm adding to my board, but I haven't yet gone through the picture process. And that's fun because you get to select these things that it's like hand picking your future. These are the things that I want. And I want it to look exactly like this. And I want it in this color and this size and this location. And then you print it out. The easiest way to do that, I would say, if you're doing it like mine, where you switch the photos out, I just literally send the pictures to Walgreens, do 1 hour pickup. They're ready, in an hour. If you're doing something where you're printing it, like a photo collage, you could do that through, I think Vistaprint does those, Canva does those, I'm certain Walgreens also does those. So it's literally just getting those pictures in front of your face. And again, you can just rock it old school and do it through magazines. And you know what I really want, Adria? I want people to send us pictures of their vision boards. I would.
Oh, folks, I love that.
If you will send us a picture of your vision board, we will put it on our website. We'll have a section on our website where we will showcase people's vision boards. And if you want to remain anonymous and you don't want anyone to know it's yours, we can totally post it anonymously. But I promise if there's a lot of pictures of you, somebody's going to recognize you. I'm just teasing. I'm totally joking.
They're going to recognize you with the rock. or whoever you pick from the
You
last
really need
few.
to put that on your vision board. I can't wait. But I'll update mine and I'll take a picture of it and we'll have it on the website. And Adria, you complete yours and we'll put it on the website. And this leads us to today's action item.
That sounds fun.
Today's action item is to make your own vision board. So this is fun, guys. And there's no deadline. There's no timeline. There's no right or wrong way to do it. You probably, in a sense, already do it. If you use Pinterest, you probably have all these things pinned already that you're like, oh, I love that. I want to remember that. I want to buy that. You probably have screenshots on your phone of all the things you want. Like you probably already have these resources. You just didn't realize that you did. Now it's printing them out, putting them in a place where you can see them, and get it in front of your face, and then take a picture, send it to us so we can share it with the world. You're going to be famous.
Definitely, yeah. Who knows? Maybe somebody is wanting to get rid of whatever you have on your vision board, and you throw it up on our website, and they'll reach out to you. And
oh my gosh,
say, hey,
wouldn't
you
that
want my
be
AirPods
amazing?
and my Mazda Red?
Yeah. You just opened a whole new avenue. All right. It's like the hot tub. You could just be putting it out there. Oh my gosh, I want a hot tub. Someone sees your vision board and they're like, oh, they want a hot tub. I'm getting rid of a hot tub. How do I connect with them? That's just another one of those ways that you can manifest something. I love it. I love it. So, Adria, do you have any other questions about vision boards or anything else that we haven't talked about that you feel like we need to address?
No, I was going to ask you if it should be what to do if it's not realistic or achievable, but I'm getting the feeling that everything is realistic and achievable. So anything goes on your vision board.
Even the rock.
I really hope his wife doesn't listen to the podcast. I'm aware he's married.
Well, he could have a identical twin brother that's single.
That's what I'm thinking. That lives in Sweden. So it would be perfect.
Right? You never know. You never know. No, I agree. I think it's important to realize that these are, you can put simple little things like AirPods that you could buy today or tomorrow. You could put those on your vision board. But we want these to be big things that feel unattainable or just life-changing. You know, we talked about a perfect life. A perfect life is what your vision board should be. Perfect life your vision board shouldn't just be like, oh, I want to repaint the house. I want a new color on my house. Maybe you really do. Maybe you really want a new roof like Dad did. That would have been on Dad's vision board, right? But it's about what would be the perfect life. And if it's the perfect life, and if you can see it, you can achieve it. The only thing keeping you from having everything that you want is yourself and your beliefs about it. So this will help you start seeing yourself in these experiences, these emotions, owning these things. And I'm telling you, it's magic. It's magic. Just putting it out there, just gets things churning. The universe loves to give you what you want. Loves to. You just got to ask for it. All right. Well, Adria, I think we've exhausted this topic for this week. I'm excited for next week, but let's remind our listeners about the first 10 episodes. They are our Jumpstart series for you to be able to kickstart the year 2021 or whenever you're listening to this. Just kickstart your ability to manifest everything that your heart desires. All 10 episodes. Subscribe, download, and then go to our website, www.attractitwithease.com, and download your free workbook, which will have worksheets that will help walk you through all of this. You don't need to take notes. You don't have to remember, as long as you remember to download the workbook. And you know what? If you subscribe to our newsletter, we'll send you a link to the workbook. So you can subscribe to the newsletter from our website as well. And Adria, do you want to remind our listeners about our giveaway?
Yes, please leave us a review of our podcast. We are drawing one name every single week this year from people that have submitted a review, and the winner will get a personalized custom bracelet with their theme word of the year.
That's right.
Just have it right there, accessible to remind you all the time what your focus is.
Speaking of Adria, I got the bracelets this week. Made my
nice.
first one. I have it. It's awesome. Also,
I'm very excited.
I just wanted to tell listeners what I told Adria right before we started recording today. And that's that we really do need your reviews because we have a review section of our website. And right now, the only reviews that we have are from myself and Adria. And I'm telling you, we gave ourselves glowing reviews. So we need to know if you have the same opinion or if you have a differing opinion. So please leave us a review. It helps us grow. And we will put reviews on our website as well. So thank you, listeners. We look forward to next week and we can't wait to see your vision boards. Have a great day. Yep. I'll talk to you soon. Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.